excited to be here with you today. Wasn't this morning just fabulous? Aren't our leaders incredible? This is a great company. This is such an exciting time to be a part of this company. And more importantly, I'm just grateful. I am just so grateful to have a few moments to share with each one of you, because you are the reason that Strongbrick is doing all the good things that it's doing. So give yourselves a round of applause. I titled my presentation From Victim to Victor, a Strongbrick fairy tale, because that is truly how Strongbrick has felt to me ever since I fully got engaged with this company. My life every day is like a magical fairy tale. I kid you not. Something amazing, something surreal happens, and I act like that kid on YouTube, and I'm like, is this real life? I mean, really, it is just so great. And the people that I get to be with every day, I have never been in a more positive environment in my life. And my heart is full of gratitude today. But the neat thing about the Strongbrick fairy tale phenomenon, that I like to call it, is that it's not just happening to me. It's happening to every single person out there that I have seen fully engage in this company. I have seen so many lives changed. I have seen so many people quit their job that they absolutely hated. They absolutely hated. And now Strongbrick gives them the freedom to do what they want to do. And I think that's pretty fairy tale-like. Don't you agree? So, but okay, we got to talk about this. Okay, prior to convention last year, I would say that unfortunately I was a little bit on the dark side. And by that I mean I wanted my husband to get a real job. Okay? I wanted him to get a job, because there's so much security in that. Who here has been taught that a real job's going to give you security? Has anybody else been taught that? Okay, that's what I was taught growing up, and I wanted him to get a real job. But to my credit, I think I did want him to also stay with Strongbrick most of the time, and that's because I just wanted him to do everything. But, okay, so, and he's an amazing man, so he can. But anyway, so that was part of me being on the dark side. The other part of me being on the dark side was that several years ago, my husband and I chose to participate and partner with a couple in a low voltage business. We did like security alarms and central vac and all that kind of stuff. And so we partnered with this couple, and we were building up the business, and we were being entrepreneurs, and we were doing all this stuff. And lo and behold, Gary and I were very trusting, we were very naive, we were new at this, and our partners decided to take full advantage of our naivety, and they embezzled us for all we were worth. Except for not for all that we were worth, a lot more than we were worth. And by the time it was all said and done, we were about 200 to 250K in debt, and our 20 years of perfect credit was totally, completely down the drain, and our life was just turned on its head. And I remember very clearly there was a day, because we lived in a new subdivision, and we were doing a lot of low voltage work for our friends and our neighbors. So it wasn't just like far away people that we owed money to, it was like our friends. And so Gary, for a period of about 2 months, would come home, and every night he would give me kind of the rundown about how much more money we owed to different people. And every day it was like, oh, we owe this friend $10,000, we owe this friend $5,000, we owe this credit line $36,000. And I just remember one day he came home and he was giving me the rundown, and I was at our kitchen island, and we were having very severe challenges with our older children as well at the time, so it wasn't just money. But I had it, and I just crumpled up in a ball by that kitchen island, and I was done. I was checked out. I didn't really hear anything else after that for a while. And so when when Gary was telling me that he was getting a $35,000 check at some convention, I was like, yeah, right, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So, it just, honestly, I had PTSD, I had severe depression. Gary would tell me things, and it was just not processing anymore. And so we almost didn't come. We almost didn't come to convention. Whatever you guys have done, whatever sacrifice you have made to get here today, you made the right choice. You made the right choice to be here. Because convention last year, it completely changed my life. It changed my goals, my vision, my dream. Everything in my life turned around for the good because I came to convention last year, and you made that same choice today. And so this check, okay, $35,000 does a lot to get you on the right side of things, right? Okay, so that was good. But it wasn't just the money, though. It was also the fact that I saw that these leaders were amazing. Are these leaders not amazing? They're incredible. These leaders are so amazing, and I saw that they had such a huge vision for this country, for each individual family. And when they say they're getting America back on its feet, one precious family at a time, I'm one of those families. So of course I love this company. So that was convention. So when I went home from convention last year, I made 4 decisions. I made 4 really important decisions that I think are imperative for the success that Gary and I have had over this last year. And you might want to write these down because you don't have to wait to get home to decide this. You can decide it right now. One of these decisions actually came from the Strongbrook presentation itself. I was sitting in the recliner at my house, and I was flipping through the field training manual, and I was trying to be more supportive, and just as I was flipping through that manual, I just kept thinking in my head, the words of the presentation just kept coming to me over and over. I'm like, what does Strongbrook do? It takes underperforming assets or non-performing assets and turns them into high-performing assets. That's what Strongbrook does. And for some reason, this just kept going over and over in my head until it just hit me like a ton of brick that I was an underperforming asset. And I was like, okay, wow. I am going to let Strongbrook do with me what Strongbrook does best. I am going to use the platform of Strongbrook to become a high-performing asset. And not only for myself and my family and this country, but for this company that gave me my life back. And I hope that they have felt that decision this past year, because I kind of think of myself as like a secret weapon from the dark side. So anyway, but so that was my number 1 decision, was I was going to become a powerful asset because I realized there was so much more inside of me to give. The second decision I made over this course of this last year is that I would ask myself, when I was making decisions, I would ask myself, is this decision going to increase my self-respect or decrease it? And I went diligently in the path of increasing my self-respect. And I'm not perfect, but I can tell you I have a lot more respect for myself than I did last year at this very same time. And the third decision I made had to do with fear. Is this business scary sometimes? Who here has kind of faced some fears doing this business? Yeah? A little bit scary? Well, you know what? I decided that I was not going to let fear bully me anymore. I was not going to let fear keep the person that was on the inside from being the person that showed up on the outside. So every day in this business for this last year, I have done things that have scared me to death. And I just keep doing them. And you know what? I've grown to realize that if I'm doing something that's scary, it seems to be leading me in the right direction. It seems to be the right way to do things, because you know what? What I realized is there is absolutely nothing scarier to me than leaving this life with the proverbial music still inside. So do not let fear bully you anymore. You guys can do this. And my fourth decision that I made had to do with leading with love, and from inspiration in the impressions of my heart. And there was a meeting at Chris Crone's house one time where he was talking, and he said how much money is in a $35,000 check? And I think he was fishing around, thinking somebody would say, oh, it's enough to get back into a home. It's enough to buy a hot property. And I had been given that $35,000 check, and I said, it's enough to get your life back. It's enough to get your marriage saved. It's enough to get your daughter well. And I don't think he was expecting that really, but that's what it meant to me. I was like, that's what it meant to me. And so after that meeting, I remember giving him and Carolyn a hug, and they really didn't know me that well at the time. And I gave them a hug, and I said, I'm back. And I think they were like, you're back from the office? You're back from your house? Whatever, And I was like, to me, in my heart, I'm like, I'm back from the dead. Because there was a moment when... There was a moment, and I honestly do not know how this happened, but I woke up one morning so early, and I shot out of bed like a rocket. I don't know what my deal was, but I just shot out of bed, got ready. I was so excited. My PTSD was gone. My depression was over, and I just was ready to go for this. I just knew that there was something that I could do. There was actually a difference that I could make by being alive. And that is worth more money than anything. And so those were my decisions about becoming a rebel entrepreneur. And if you look at your little name tag here, that's really what this is. We're all rebel entrepreneurs. We're all trying to stand for something that's important in this country. We're trying to get this country back on its feet. And like I say, Strongbrook puts its money where its mouth is. And this is a picture of us in front of our little Strongbrook house. And after our financial reset, we lost 3 homes to foreclosure. We had 11 mortgages, and we saved everybody else's house but our own 3 homes. And for a little bit of time, I actually felt homeless, and it is a freaky feeling, and I never want to feel that way again. But so this is Preston and I standing in front of our Strongbrook home. And, that first $35,000 check got us back into a home. It really did what Strongbrook says. We are the MAP PSA. We are the Sweat Equity Program. It works. It works. If you don't have money, this is the place to be. If you have less than no money, this is the place to be. And if you have lots of money, this is actually the place to be. There is a place for everyone here at Strongbrook, because Strongbrook can get you back on your feet. And so this home, I told Gary, I said, I want to be back in a home by Mother's Day. Most people ask for a necklace or something. I just wanted a house. But so he got that. He, with the help with Strongbrook, but not just the money, but the education that Strongbrook gives us. Because if we wouldn't have had the education of Strongbrook, even if we had the money with 3 foreclosures on our name, we would have not known how to get back into a house. We wouldn't have known how to do it. And so, anyway, so our family is the MAP PSA, and it does work. Okay, this is me laughing all the way to the bank. I just had to put this in here because I don't think there's anything more magical or fairy tale-like than cashing $59,000. It was pretty awesome. It was a lot better day than some of those other days that I had in the kitchen with Gary a long time ago. When I came back from convention, one thing that happened was I was sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, so this check thing was awesome, and that was just fabulous. That was great, and Gary got lots of awards and everything. But it's kind of funny that this would bother me. But I was like, but he didn't get the big award. Like, he didn't get the presidential founder. What happened? And I'm like, because he's Gary, and he should have gotten that. And so I was still trying to get better for my PTSD and everything, but I was on the treadmill, and I was probably walking really, really slowly, but I was on the treadmill, and I was flipping through the training manual again. I don't know, that training manual and I have some good vibes together, but anyway, I was flipping through the training manual trying to figure out this presidential founder thing. I'm like, I gotta figure this out, and I gotta figure out how to do it, and Gary's gonna be getting that award next year. I guarantee it, you know. And so anyway, so I'm on the treadmill, but you know, the coolest thing happened is I decided while I was on the treadmill trying to figure out this information, I decided to be a conscious creator. And isn't that something that we learn here in Strong Brick, be a conscious creator, right? And so anyway, so while I was on that treadmill, I decided to envision what I wanted. And I wanted this next year, I wanted not only Gary to be up here as a presidential founder, but I wanted to be here with him, not just as a supporter, but actually as his full partner, deserving of earning that award with him. And I saw in my mind, I saw that happening, and I saw just, and this was a dream of mine because Gary and I, our marriage, it had, you know, who here has ever thought about money with their spouse? Any of you? Yeah. What does that do to a marriage? It doesn't really make it really fun. And we had a lot of fighting, and we had a lot of pain between us. And so when I had this vision of becoming a presidential founder with Gary, it was like a vision of us being a synergizing power couple of doing so much good and having that bring us together. And it was just an amazing envisionment. It almost felt so powerful. It felt like a vision of something that was really going to happen. And so I also envisioned that Chris would start noticing us as this power couple. And so one day I don't think Chris knows this, but one day we were at the office, and Gary and I were there, and we were just walking casually past Chris, and this was about a week after I had done all this conscious creating. And anyway, so Chris walks by and he's like, "How's my power couple doing?" And you know what? To him, I bet that meant nothing. To me, it meant everything. It was the most purposeful, planned moment. I was like, yes! And you ain't seen nothing yet, baby. So, anyway. So that's how we started our journey of being a presidential founder. Have you ever gotten so sick and tired of what life is dishing out to you that you're like, I am not going to take no. I will not. If it's between me and the universe moving, the universe will move. And that is how powerful I felt about becoming a presidential founder. So whatever it is that you guys want, whatever goal, whatever award you want to get here, you want to have next year on this stage, you can get it. You can get it, whatever it is you want. You just need to make the universe move. You know, when I was a kid, when I was about in third grade, we moved to northern Washington, and actually it was kind of a really scary, rough town, and it was a place where a lot of people moved to escape the law, actually. And so I was this little third grader, and I was in class, and my very first week at that school, in my classroom, for some reason, was also the PE locker, and with the PE equipment. And the teacher had left for a while, and during the time that she left, some bullies in my class took a girl in that closet and beat her up with a baseball bat. And I remember sitting there thinking, okay, I'm poor, I'm new, I had a different religion that I knew people didn't really like, and so I thought, and I'm different, and I'm next. And you know, I was next. And those bullies, they told me I was ugly. They told me I was worthless. They told me that I would never amount to anything, but they were liars. And how many of us have liars in our lives that tell you something about yourself that is absolutely not true? Well, don't believe them, because you can be anybody you want to be. You can do anything you want to. And just being here today proves it, that you are on a different track than most other people. I love this picture. This is a picture of us mailing off our last embezzlement payment. Yes, yes! This is part of my fairy tale. Yes, we did it. But you know what? Even as amazing, it's been years. It's been years that I have wanted so badly to send this payment off, to know that part of my life, that chapter in my life was closed, was finished, was over. And what I found interesting is, even as sweet as this moment was, there was a far sweeter moment to me that happened when I was in the parking lot of Strongbrook one day, and we had a bunch of leadership, or we had some meetings, and we had leadership meeting and everything. And I was in the parking lot, and I went to drive away. But before I went to drive away, I just had so many awesome thoughts swirling around in my head. I was thinking about my team. I was thinking about how I could serve them better, what I could do better as a leader, how I could live my life as a better example. How could I make people more successful? What could I do? I just had a million. My heart was just so overflowing with love. I could not hardly contain it. And in that moment, I realized, I was like, this is being an abundant person. This is what abundance is. And I still had a ton of embezzlement debt to pay off. So I realized in that moment, I realized abundance has nothing to do with what your bank account is reflecting at the moment, but it sure has a lot to do with what's going on in your head and in your heart. And I hope that anyone that is on my team knows that I've got their back, and that I am there for them, and I'm going to help them in any way I can to be successful. I also hope anyone that's not on my team knows that I've got their back too, because we're all on Strongbrook's team. Are we not all a part of Strongbrook's team? This is a picture of my beautiful daughter. And when she was, this is a headshot. She was a very bright, talented girl, and she loved acting. And so we put her in. We tried to get her in a lot of different things, and she did some different things. But she got her big break when she had the opportunity to be on America's Got Talent. And we had paid the fees, and everything was a go, and it was going to be awesome. And I was so excited for her. And then Gary got cancer. And luckily, fortunately, it was a very fixable cancer. It was very deadly cancer, but it was very fixable. But we were self-employed, and we didn't have any insurance. And so that moment for her never happened, because we couldn't afford the plane ticket. We could no longer afford to take her. And don't you hate it when there's something you want to do for your kids, and then it is all about money, and you can't do it for them? Like what Chris was talking about with his autistic son. Fortunately, he had the money to make that happen, to get him well. But at this time, we did not have the money to take her. And that was just one of many, many things in her life, many dreams that were crushed. And not all of them had to do with money, but a lot of them did, because there was a lot of fighting in our house about money. And it just got to a point where she was done. She was done. She didn't want to be here anymore. She was ready to check out of this life. And in fact, not only did she try one time, she tried it over and over and over. And I did not know every day if that was going to be the last day that I ever saw my daughter. Well, you know what? She's writing a new story too. She chose to live. She chose to give hope to other people. She chose to share her story. And in fact, coming up, she's going to be In the next few months, she's starting on the speaker circuit, and she's going to be doing a wealth and health and suicide prevention at a high school. And I am so proud of her. But this is my happily ever after. This is my happily ever after. My daughter changing and becoming and being the beautiful person that she is. And I'm so also grateful for the beautiful person that came into her life to also help that, my son-in-law, Andrew. But the other part of my fairy tale ending, I guess I would say, is Gary. He did not need me. He did not need me to become a presidential founder. He could have done it easily on his own. He could have gotten that award totally on his own, in spite of me. Even when I was like on the dark side, he can do stuff like that. It's amazing. But he didn't need that. He could have done it all by himself. But I needed it. I needed to become a different person. I needed to become a presidential founder inside. And I actually have written a song for him about my journey this last year becoming a rebel entrepreneur that I want to dedicate to him. And it's been so hard keeping this a surprise. It has been so hard. And this song might not sound like your typical love song, but it really is a love song because it's about me changing. And isn't that what we do when we love somebody? We become the best person that we can be. And I just want you to know how much I love you. And anyway, but I also, not only to Gary, want to dedicate this song. I want to dedicate this song. It's called Rebel Entrepreneur. That's Gary and my brand. And I want to dedicate it to any of you that wants to take back your future, take back your destiny, fight for America, and we will win together with Strongbrook.
Covers over my head, trying to run away from things I can't seem to control. Lost in all the shadows, dreams so many shattered, trying to find something to hold on to. Feels like I'm treading water, feels like I'm slipping farther, sinking in the quicksand of my life. Feels like I've hit rock bottom, but I just keep falling. Pray to God I'll find a way. Gotta get out of this. Economy is down now, everybody's frowning, hope fading like a mist. I hear what they are saying, but my heart keeps replaying. It's time for people like me to resist this feeling. Wake up and I find opportunities surround me if I'll just open my eyes. Fight for my own freedom, fight for what I know revolution staging, war inside me raging. I'm breaking through, rebel entrepreneur waiting, a new revolution staging, war inside me raging. I'm breaking through my past. Rise to the occasion, just took a decision to stand back on my own 2 feet. Never going back there, I can see the light.